like the NBA offseason is about to start. Finally, F5 season is here! Which means fake Woj tweets or people taking tweets from different years ago and using them to fool my gullible self into believing that somehow Kawhi Leonard was getting traded to the Pacers. Man, that would be crazy if that happened. That totally happened. Oh gosh, wow. The thing that blew up NBA Twitter basically was the fact that Shams Charania, who is kind of like this new age Woj for like the younger generation, basically reported that Kawhi Leonard has stated that he is not comfortable with the Spurs franchise and he would like to leave San Antonio. And what makes this so significant for the NBA offseason is that initially what we thought was Kawhi Leonard was just going to resign with the Spurs. The Spurs have the most money to give them. They're going to give him that big old $219 million max contract, and everything's going to be great. Instead, Kawhi said, no, we're opening the floodgates. Release the Kraken? Rawr. Release the Kraken. Kraken? This is pretty astounding for someone who has, routinely known the Spurs to be a franchise that usually players don't want to leave, and the players who do leave are usually role players who excelled very well under Greg Popovich's coaching, but then when they get to a new situation, they don't do well. And here we have Kawhi, who has succeeded at the highest of levels, has become a significantly destructive perimeter defender, was able to, win Finals MVP against playing against LeBron James, and he's at a point where he wants to leave. So not only do you have the Spurs, who are a model franchise that normally every other franchise is trying to emulate when it's not Golden State, it's always been the Spurs way that everyone's been trying to emulate for so long just because of how sustained their success has been, now facing a situation where their superstar doesn't want to play for them. And the way that they'll respond to this is going to be really cool to see, just because of how the Spurs have had adversity, but it hasn't been so significant to the point that it would affect the basketball. It wouldn't affect them basketball-wise. They would get their 50 wins, and they would be one of the more terrifying teams in the playoffs. But now, we don't know what might happen with the Spurs. Now, the contenders you have to get Kawhi's services at the moment are potentially Lakers, where it turns out Kawhi's from LA, or California at least, and I did not know that, so he could potentially go there, and Lakers fans would just lose their mind if they managed to somehow get two of LeBron James, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. Just two of those, NBA Twitter would explode. Boston Celtics are always in play for any superstar because they have the assets to make trades thanks to Billy King. Billy King will forever be the Boston Celtics' favorite general manager that's never been on their team. Beyond that, I think Philly might have an opportunity, depending on how the Spurs see Markelle Fultz and other players on that team, how they see them growing on the Spurs. It's a whole lot of chaos, and it's going to be interesting to see how and where Kawhi leaves San Antonio, since it looks like it's potentially going to go down. Anything can happen. Basketball-wise, I honestly don't know where he's going to go, but looking at him on the Lakers with potentially a LeBron or a Paul George, defensively, that's terrifying. Offensively, that's terrifying. Imagine just trying to get a handle on LeBron speeding down the lane, and then, he scores, and that hurts, and then you try to go back into the other side to score, and Kawhi's just like, whoosh, and he takes the ball out of your hand. Just takes the ball out of your hand. This isn't in your hand anymore. It's in his. No, this is not yours anymore. Kawhi took it from you. I'm sorry. You have to play better offense against one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Other key thing about this is too, we still don't know the extent of Kawhi's injury since there's been so much speculation around it, and supposedly he was fine, but now he's not. Supposedly Spurs doctors cleared him, but then he's like, no, I still feel weird, I still feel hurt. So we don't even know if Kawhi's 100%, and I think that puts another layer on top of the already existing layers of chaos within the F5 season that is about to commence. That is the beauty of the chaos in an NBA offseason. This guy says you can have mittens, but claws are just cooler, dog.